The second stage of psychological safety is learner safety. The central question is this: do you feel safe to learn? Learner safety satisfies the basic human need to learn and grow. You feel safe in the learning process, asking questions, giving and receiving feedback, experimenting, even making mistakes. And you won't be embarrassed, marginalized, or punished in the process. Let's get a little more specific about learning and the need to learn as a member of a team. There are 4 learning work streams that every person on a team needs to engage in: people, context, culture, and skills. First of all, people. You've got to get to know the people on your team, not just superficially, but you've got to build a little deeper and an enduring relationship. That takes time. That's a learning work stream. The second one is context. What's the context of the team? What's the history? What happened in the past? What is the team trying to accomplish? What are the goals? What's the vision? What's the strategy? What are the priorities? That's all context. That's a learning work stream. The third one is culture. How does the team interact? What are the norms? What are the terms of engagement? What's the legacy culture that influences the culture of today? That's a third learning work stream. And then the last one would be your skills, your personal skills. You're always working on those skills. You're always updating and enhancing those skills. So that is the fourth of those 4 work streams: people, context, culture, and skills. Let me ask you a question. What if you're an expert already and you become a member of a new team? Do you need stage 2 learner safety? The answer is yes, because even if you're the world's greatest expert in your area, you still need to learn based on the other 3 work streams: people, context, and culture. Okay, let's talk about the social exchange for stage 2 learner safety. The social exchange is the reciprocity between you and the team. So what does it look like for stage 2 learner safety? The team encourages your learning in exchange for you engaging in the learning process. But I have a question. Who goes first? Does the team go first to encourage your learning, or do you go first to jump in and engage in the learning process? Let me tell you what we found based on the research. The team goes first. The team has a first mover obligation and stewardship. Why is that? Well, think about it. Can we assume that every new member of a team arrives to the team ready to learn? The answer is no. Some team members, new team members that come onto the team, they've come out of very difficult experiences. They've come out of toxic environments. They arrive not ready to learn. They arrive as emotionally bruised learners. Well, what do we know about learning? Learning is both intellectual and emotional. You cannot separate the thinking brain from the feeling brain. So if you have a new member of the team that arrives and has come out of trauma, that learner is emotionally bruised. An emotionally bruised learner is a cognitively impaired learner. An emotionally empowered learner is a cognitively enabled learner. Do you see the difference? So the operating assumption for every team is that we don't assume that people arrive ready to learn from an emotional standpoint. That's why we, as members of the team, we encourage their learning first, and then we give them an opportunity to engage in the learning process. And sometimes it's going to take a little bit of time before they are ready to learn at capacity. To foster learner safety on your team, your job is to create an environment where you detach fear from mistakes. Now think about this. Fear is normally associated with mistakes, but it doesn't have to be. On the best teams, what they do is they create a norm where they detach, they pull apart, they divorce fear from mistakes. Why? Because learning is fraught with risk. We all bring some level of inhibition and fear to the learning process. So if we can divorce fear from mistakes, people learn to jump into that learning. They take learning risks and they're not going to worry about it, because if they make a mistake, it's going to be okay. They're going to be rewarded for that vulnerable activity. So years ago, I showed up at Oxford University as a new graduate student. During the first week, the chancellor of the university spoke to all of us. Now, I don't remember anything he said except the last thing he said. The last thing he said was, 2 out of 3 of you will fail or quit. Welcome to Oxford University. If I'm being honest, at the time, I just wanted to go back to Heathrow, get on an airplane, and go home. That was very intimidating for me at that point. But then something wonderful happened. The university assigned to me an advisor by the name of Arthur Stockwin. And he took me by the hand. He said, "So happy that you're here, Tim. I'm going to go on this journey with you. I'm not going to be easy on you. And the reason I'm not going to be easy on you is that I know the journey and I know what it's going to take for you to be successful. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be open. I'm going to give you honest feedback. And I'm going to help you be successful." Well, he was true to his word. And I remember turning in papers to him. This is back in the day when we actually printed out hard copy papers. I'd submit a paper to him. It would come back to me dripping in red ink. And I would get so frustrated, but I still loved this man who was my advisor. Why? Because he gave me learner safety. He divorced mistakes from fear, and I could feel that. He nurtured this environment of incredibly high stage 2 learner safety. Let me repeat the point. An emotionally bruised learner is a cognitively impaired learner. An emotionally strong learner is a cognitively enhanced learner.